Lads, we have fallen. Oh, have we fallen. I don't want to be the guy to tell you. I don't want to be the one who tells you, hey, you might want to look at your crypto apps. You might want to press refresh for a little second to realize the money you saw about 5 hours ago is now significantly different. And then again, I also do realize that many of you guys are not watching your crypto portfolio every single second like I am, and so perhaps you might have not even noticed, because we're back to prices from like a few days ago, at least on Bitcoin and Ethereum. For altcoins though, it was like 15% down in an hour, which has been mitigated throughout the past couple of minutes here. But as you can see, Bitcoin is right now at below 69,000, even though it was just at 72. So it took a pretty big dip, and that is all because it could not pull through. It could not get through the $72,000 mark. Like I just posted over on X, we had some ridiculous numbers. This is the 1 hourly numbers, right? So within 1 hour, things like Tau were down 12%, which is why right now they might be looking very good. Tau is up 7% or so in an hour. You think, oh, let's go outside and celebrate. Well, it's just a lot less down from before. It's still down 10, 11% throughout the day. And looking through, indeed, a lot of coins have bled throughout the last couple of hours here. And I honestly think that it's not this, right? So some speculation I saw on the interwebs was US non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, hourly earnings. Who cares about hourly earnings? But anyway, the new reports got released. Well, that caused prices to change. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. We had a little bit of a Bitcoin and GameStop dump earlier today. Then we had mostly just crazy gains for the next few hours afterwards, all until one very specific thing happened. For all of you that do not know, one of the OGs, well, at least for the past couple of years, is obviously called Roaring Kitty. He is the guy who started the whole GameStop debacle of, hey, let's go for a short squeeze. Not in those words, but you understand what I'm talking about here. And the most important thing you need to know is that a few hours ago, about 2 hours ago, he launched a live stream. I watched the whole thing where he basically said nothing. He just said, hey, I'm still excited, still don't know what I'm doing. And he's got roughly, let's quickly check this out. Just take a look at the numbers. He's got roughly $300 million right now in his positions, in his GME positions. He was actually almost a billionaire. I think it was like 3% more for him to become a billionaire. But now actually is down $235 million. So he put in 174 million, is right now only at 350 million instead of like, I don't know, 900 million or something like that. Initially, his unrealized gains were like 500 something. And right now, all of a sudden, it's a $250 million loss today. So if you're feeling bad, at least feel mitigated, or feel that loss mitigated by the amount of money that he lost. Then again, feel bad because, well, he's also up $140 million still on his position from like a few days ago. So yeah, makes you realize how quickly life can change, right? 3 years ago, he opened a position with what, 30,000 or so, turned into a couple mil. And then right now, he just all of a sudden is up 150 million in a few days. Point being though, on this stream, I normally would never bring up something in the stock world that is so far away from us as Bitcoin holders, crypto holders, because even though there's some overlap with the GME token, etc., and we're seeing more and more connections between the real financial assets world and cryptos, I wouldn't necessarily think it usually is connected, especially a GME short squeeze. Even though some holders have overlap, for the most part, they're not hurdling the same, points. They don't have the same objective, completely different fundamentals, and for the most part, also different investors. Yes, meme coin people and GME people are quite similar, still quite different. That would always be the case, except for today. And for the most part, is that because, first of all, everybody was watching the $72,000 mark for Bitcoin, and it seemed like it was going to break through. But that was also partially because this live stream was one of the most anticipated financial live streams in history, with 650,000 people watching it live. And so whatever words he uttered about Bitcoin, crypto, about his positions, about being bullish, bearish, whatever, it would have most likely caused the Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, but also GME prices to do some crazy moves. The problem, I guess, was he said nothing, though. He just is like, hey, not really sure what I'm doing. GME got halted a bunch, and the price went down a lot. Again, GME going down and Bitcoin going down, it's not that crazy. And when I say we're going down, I mean, so it's a pretty hefty move towards the downside here, ladies and gentlemen. I am, however, usually a pretty fair man in saying, you know what, today, it was Friday, right? Yes, today, the S&P also had a pretty big downer day, and yesterday was a crazy green candle. So perhaps those are also some of the repercussions to face, like back in time when you see a crazy red S&P candle, or potentially some of the other indices, and it reflects over to Bitcoin. It is just not that unprecedented. It's not that crazy. Matter of fact, very often we see some sort of similar results. Over on the left is a 4-hour chart on the S&P, because I think that's the more relevant way to do it. I don't think a daily does it as much justice as with a Bitcoin chart, because Bitcoin is 24/7. And again, looking at this, you think, oh, that is a nice green candle here actually for the S&P, when in reality, when zooming in, it was mostly just downwards price action here. Perhaps that's also what Bitcoin copied. So again, I don't want to give all the credits here to our Mr. Roaring Kitty. I want to keep some and give it to the S&P, to the traditional markets. Now, some have added that we've got the Federal Reserve meeting, the FOMC, in a few days coming up. People are speculating already. And some others have said, you know what? This is all just to shake you out even further. Just wait until Asia wakes up, which would be in like maybe 5 hours or so. My comments on the matter are that I am no weak little baby. That's like the simplest thing I could tell you here. I am so deep into crypto right now that it doesn't matter what happens. I'll be buying that dip up like it's sweet chocolate you've just stolen from a baby. It tastes even sweeter that way. No, but real talk, right? I still don't think there's any chance this whole crypto endeavor is going to fail over the next couple of months. And so all it's about is making sure we don't capitulate, we don't give up. And on the short term, things might be slightly bad. It might be a little bit annoying, but ultimately I know where we are headed. And I'm telling everybody, even if you do not believe it's the case, one scenario is you have zero crypto and you don't have any because you don't believe in the tech. Then I will say to you, just buy $1 or $5, $10 worth, just one transaction, and then leave it perhaps. But at least buy it once and understand how it all works. Very important step. If you've already got a lot, well, I guess there's subdivisions. If you got a little bit, you've been dabbling, or you've got yourself fully in. My comments are, even though I'm not your financial advisor, this is not advice, we all know where we're headed. And as long as we've got that vision for where we're going to be throughout the next few months, I mean, we've noticed some record-breaking institutional numbers, so we all know, then what is a little dump? Nothing, right? That's my vision. So I wake up more happy every single time I see a dump like this, because I'm bidding. And that means that whenever the prices go down, ladies and gentlemen, I am buying. Some of you said, Dusty, where do you give it? I've said before, if you do not have funds to buy dips of dips of dips, you're playing the game wrong. Even if I'm telling you I'm all in, there'll be another pocket of money that I find tomorrow to go and buy the dip even bigger the next time around. And also, all in my terms, is mostly an all in for the amount of money I've allocated at this price level. For example, whenever I go all in, is that I've sold everything I own? Or is it, let's say you have $100,000 on an account. At first you bought $10,000 worth. And all of a sudden the price kept climbing down. And now the whole $100,000 that I allocated for this goal is now depleted. It took a few months, but everything that I wanted to put in there is now in. I consider that to be all in, even though you might have different pockets elsewhere that you might have to fill this in with. Ultimately, who gives a crap about this terminology? It's just about the idea that whenever the price goes down, I'm buying. People say, little fly. Anyway, people may say what they want to say. We're buying the freaking dip, and that's eternal. It's ultimately because that's the best thing to do. I know people get scared. I know it's hard, especially if you're over leveraging yourself. But if you're able to hang out for a little bit, I think it will definitely be worth it. And I will admit once more as well that this was a little bit of an outlier of a move. Most of the eyes were just on 72K and it being broken right now. A lot of my friends were heavily stacked on it happening. Perhaps Roaring Kitty brought a little bit more foulness to our game than anticipated. But c'est la vie, hein? And I guess that's what also makes it all crypto so special, so interesting. If it was all only up every single day, it wouldn't be as fun. Right now, at least it's challenging. Otherwise, we'd all be multi-trillionaires tomorrow. It wouldn't be as fun. So again, understand your mission, understand what you're here for, understand you're in such a fortunate position to be where you're at right now. I don't care how low we go. I'm here till the end. That's about it.